In this first video, going to quickly go through what I've learned about monzo, and divided this into 9 parts. So the first part is on the early technology choices. So they do use Kubernetes, and they are actually one of the first teams to implement it. This has allowed them to support a microservices architecture, and this has been important because famously they are known for their 1600 microservices. The primary language used is Go, but even talking about quickly on their hiring practices, they really don't necessarily care whether you know Go or not, and the reason for that is they want to focus a lot more on general engineering skills, and they believe that having a strong internal community is going to, can actually come from that. And we understand that, for example, if you're coming from a different kind of background, it's highly unlikely that you might not have that kind of experience with Go. That takes me to the second point. I just mark this as covered so I don't go through it again. Takes me to the second point, which is the foundational layer. So this is what kind of starts you out. We do have something quite similar in Meta, which is whenever you're starting, we have all these scaffolding tools. So if you're trying to create a new service, you can scaffold most of that, and that helps you start out, but you're not just looking at a blank screen. And I think that's a very important part of the problem here. And also it allows you to focus just on the business logic, so you don't need to be fighting with your tooling. Your tooling just works, and you need to focus on that, on actually making the business work. So on the benefits of what they have managed to do with all this Kubernetes work is that they have been able to get to scale and faster iteration. This has been great because this is one of the companies that I think started I think it's 2000 to 2019, I'm not quite sure, but it's a fairly new organization. They needed to move fast, which is of course is interesting because they're also in a highly regulated space. However, the space of challenger banks is actually growing quite quickly, and they would need to kind of build out that knowledge. The other thing is I found interesting is this investment in the ecosystem with really a dedicated platform engineering team. So it's hard to actually find companies that are starting going all this way, but I think this has made life significantly easy for engineers because now they don't have to fight the problem of organizational complexity that has been layered on top of technical complexity. The other thing is how they do continuous integration, and I think the big part here is just to kind of avoid some of these change management boards, which is one of the problems that you'll see in such an environment where compliance is everything. So maybe something goes wrong and someone somewhere decides, we no longer have code go directly into production. So that means that they are going to have someone's going to review that, and that obviously blocks everyone. So instead of going that route, instead have in-house testing frameworks, static analysis, and a whole lot of tooling that is there just to ensure that static, and just to kind of ensure that someone moves forward quickly. And it also kind of touches on delivery, and I'll kind of go back straight to the automated rollbacks. So whenever you roll something and we very quickly notice that you have started, our metrics have started going the opposite direction that we don't want, we can kind of quickly get on top of that and kind of fix it, or even just revert that code. So as an engineer, you just need to press a button, everything else is taken care of. And I think I've talked a bit about change management, and that's where the OTT's delivery would normally come into play. So I've focused a lot here on the platform aspect of it, but I can see a lot more work being done there. Think about code generation, boilerplate. I'm imagining maybe probably something using generative AI. We'll see how that space goes. So yeah, a quick overview of my current understanding.